Hey there. Thanks for asking your question. This is R.I. Menard from Monks of the Way, having my first sip of tea for the day. Have a listen. Yeah, there's interesting stuff outside. That's just my dog. Let's hop right into it, right? So the question is about, basically, if you boil it down, because it was kind of a complicated question, kind of had multiple parts. Basically, I'm seeing that you're asking how how mindfulness can lead into meditation. And to answer that, I'd like to go to the foundations of mindfulness, not mindfulness itself, not the practice of mindfulness itself, although that comes into it absolutely. Let me quote a text, and we can talk about that. It would be the Sati paṭṭhāna Sutta. It's MN 10, and I will include that in a text for you also. And you can look up um, other interpretations of it, other translations. I believe the translation I'll give you is my own. If you're going to look for another translator, I would go for Ireland. Ireland is his name, Ireland. And he's a really good translator. Good dog, that's enough. Looking out for me. Let me go with the beginning of it. Buddha goes, monks! And they go, yes, Buddha. And he says, there's a most wonderful way to help living beings realize purification, overcome directly grief and sorrow, and pain and anxiety, travel the right path, and realize nirvana. This way is the four establishments of mindfulness. He's saying there is a way, not the way, but there are other teachings, obviously. There are other parts that come into this, but we're going to continue. What are the establishments? Well, what you're going to be paying attention to, it's paying attention to the physical self, the emotional self, how the mind works, and the constructed objects of the mind that it creates. So, the physical, this could be certainly meditation done on all these fronts. And meditation, of course, would be one of the parts of the Path of Eight. It would be the part where you can have realizations in deep contemplation and change your views, come to realize things, see things you never saw before. The physical self, you could be meditating, you could be paying attention to your breath as you go throughout your day, or in regular meditation. Let's talk about throughout the day, okay? Your physical self as you go throughout the day. You might know when you're getting angry before you would normally realize it, before you act out. Your breathing, the way you walk, the words you say. You can pay attention to yourself. You can know yourself this way. You can know your emotions. You can root out where these emotions come from, where they go, what they're conductive to, how the mind works. You can watch the way your mind works, and I'll give you an example. You might have a responsibility, and your mind is trying to convince you to go have dinner and then you'll do it, instead of doing it in the first place. which might be a bad choice. You might know full well that probably what's going to happen is you're going to take a nap after dinner. If that's and you're not going to get it done for whatever reason, uh, that it's not going to help, it's going to hinder, and your mind will find ways for you to believe that it's reasonable for you to go ahead and have a nice meal. And you watch your mind work, and you realize that there are things that it wants, and ways that it shifts your decision-making skills. And it can seem that you're at odds with your own mind sometimes, certainly. And if you know your mind, you don't let it get away with a lot of stuff it likes to do. The constructed objects that the mind creates, how you understand another person is a constructed object. How you understand the way the world works, how you understand your place in the world, the way you understand your responsibilities in the world. A lot of things you create a constructed object in your mind, which may or may not be reasonable, which may or may not be truthful. It may be delusional. On a scale, on a variant, a spectrum, it may be, the needle may be pushed in one direction or the other, or somewhere in between, obviously. There's certainly a good read on that, on Sutta. A practitioner remains established in the observation of the body, diligent, with clear understanding, mindful, having abandoned every craving. Obviously, with such madness, with such intensity, and every distaste with clarity for this life. So your cravings and your distastes, you don't want to be sensitive to those in the body, but you do want to feel. So I'm not saying don't feel. I'm not saying to remove them. I'm saying to abandon a fascination with them, if you can, obviously. This person remains established in observation of their feelings. They're diligent, clear understanding, having abandoned with that these cravings, these distastes, the fascination with them, the intenseness of them, the observation of the mind, diligent, clear understanding, having abandoned, so on and so forth. The establishment, you get established in the observation of objects of the mind. You're diligent with it. You get a clear understanding. You abandon the madness, and you get clarity. Now, I feel like that's a pretty good answer in establishing mindfulness, but the mindfulness itself I want to mention, and that is an awareness. And awareness meditation is good for this, where you're quiet as a practice and you are sitting there and your eyes are closed, but you're stretching out with your senses. With your hearing, you're visualizing the space around you, and you're feeling everything that's near you, as if you're touching everything simultaneously. And this circle of observation can move out to a comfortable range. And maybe that comfortable range for you is the room, and it could be for quite a few people. It could be the house you're in or building. It could be the grounds of that building. It could be the town you're in. It could be the state. It could be the planet. It could be more. But start slow, start small. Anyway, having gotten good with this meditation, as you go throughout the day, you can stretch your awareness and feel that comfortable awareness you have of what's around you and what's going on, what's really going on, the way things shift to happen, the roots of things. And the application of the teachings that you get, you want to be mindful, you want to start applying those things. You want to have wisdom in action. You want to apply what you've learned as you go forward. And so, obviously, you want to. Sorry, I was looking at the time. Obviously, you want to have a sense of what you're doing as a spectrum. I guess once again, a spectrum. Not just now, but you also want to look to the past and the future. But now is the focus. And what's happening now? What do I hear outside right now? How's my dogs doing? Yeah, how's my dogs? Dogs okay? How's my day going? Have I eaten? Do I need to eat? Drink? How am I doing emotionally? How am I doing mentally? What's going on in my life? Where's my life going? And this leads into the path of eight. And the path of eight has these areas where a person is able to accept truth. And one area lends itself to the next area, lends itself to the next area, and it goes around and around like a wheel. It's the symbol of Buddhism, is that wheel that turns. And so I feel like that teaching is, the Delusion Sutta, is important to what we're doing too. And you want to come up here? No? All right. So I want to leave it there for the moment. It's just one question. I think you could benefit from breaking this question down and clarify it or break it down into exactly one thing, and then I could cover that one thing in more depth. But I hope that I gave you the answer you look for, and I'm hoping I'm giving you the answers in the in the teachings of Buddha that you can look to and see the interpretations of and really apply to your life. And that's it. And whatever media format you get this on, please like, follow, or join up. Monks of the Way is a nonprofit doing the work of Buddhism. We have an Android application called Ask Buddha, where you can get daily Buddha quotes. It has a meditation timer, a digital notebook, as well as the ability to ask Buddhist monks questions, of course. It's free and does not ask for your email address, your phone number, for you to make an account or sign up for anything, so it really is free. You can check us out on Facebook if you like, and obviously it's a nonprofit. You could donate. You could look on TikTok. There are some Buddha quotes there and some teachings. This has been R.A. Menard, Mitra Ya, for Monks of the Way. I hope that Buddha will bless you, my friend. Thank you. Thanks for spending a moment with me.